You are currently living in a cage that you cannot see, touching bars you cannot feel, obeying a master you have never met. You believe your choices are your own. You believe that if you work hard, love deeply, and tell the truth, the world will reward you. But look around you. Look closely. Who is actually winning? Is it the person who gives everything away freely? Is it the one who is transparent, predictable, and relentlessly kind? Or is it the one who holds back, the one who calculates, the one who seems to operate by a different set of rules entirely? 500 years ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote down a truth so cold, so brutal, and so undeniable that history tried to ban his work. He didn't write about how the world should be. He wrote about how it is. He understood that human nature is not driven by morality. It is driven by power, fear, desire, and self-interest. If you ignore these forces, you become their victim. If you understand them, you become their architect. Most people move through life as player 2 in their own game. They react, they defend, they wait for permission. They are controlled by unseen laws of psychology that dictate who gets respect, who gets loved, and who gets left behind. Today, we are going to dismantle the illusion. We are going to walk through the 7 Machiavellian laws that are secretly controlling your life right now. These are not tips. These are the operating system of human hierarchy. By the end of this, you will have a choice. Continue to be the pawn moved by invisible hands, or cut the strings and finally see the board. But a warning. Once you see these laws, you cannot unsee them. Innocence, once lost, can never be recovered. The first law is the foundation of all value, and it is the one you violate every single day. Respect is not a product of generosity. It is a product of scarcity. You have been conditioned to believe that to be valued, you must be present, available, answering texts immediately, picking up extra shifts, offering your energy the moment it is requested. You think this makes you reliable. You think this makes you good. It does not. It makes you cheap. Basic economics rules the human soul just as it rules the market. Water is essential for life, yet it is free because it flows from every tap. Diamonds are useless, yet they are worshipped because they are hidden, rare, and difficult to obtain. When you are always available, you become water. You are necessary perhaps, but you are not respected. You are consumed. You are taken for granted. And when the tap runs dry, people don't feel gratitude for what they had. They feel anger that the service has stopped. Machiavelli understood that the prince who is seen too often becomes ordinary. The leader who is always accessible loses his aura. Observe the dynamics in your own life. Who is the person you obsess over? Is it the one who texts you back instantly with paragraphs of reassurance? Or is it the one who takes hours? Whose validation feels earned? Whose attention feels like a spotlight that could turn away at any moment? The human brain is wired to chase what retreats. If you drop the string, the cat loses interest. If you pull the string away, the cat pounces. To master this law, you must learn the discipline of strategic absence. This is not about playing games. It is about understanding the weight of your own existence. You must stop distributing yourself like free flyers on a street corner. You must start rationing your presence like gold. This means you do not explain everything. You do not show up to every event. You do not answer every call. You create a void. When you withdraw, you create a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. People will rush to fill that space with their attention, their curiosity, and their desire. When you are silent, they wonder what you are thinking. When you are absent, they wonder where you are. In that wondering, they create a fantasy of you. And that fantasy is infinitely more powerful than the reality of you sitting on the couch, readily available, waiting to be used. The second law explains why you are discarded. Most people try to be loved. They try to be the hero who saves the day. They give, they fix, they heal. And then, once the person is saved, once the job is done, the hero is forgotten. Why? Because the hero is no longer needed. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince will seek a means by which his subjects will always and in every possible condition of time have need of his government. Translation: do not build relationships based on affection. Build relationships based on dependence. This sounds cold. It is. But look at the reality. The employee who is loved but replaceable is the first to be fired. The partner who is sweet but offers no security, no spine, and no direction is the first to be cheated on. Safety is not found in being liked. Safety is found in being essential. If you want to be untouchable, you must position yourself so that your removal causes pain. You must become the architect of the other person's stability. In your career, do not just do your job. Hoard a specific skill that only you possess. Own the relationship with the key client. Hold the password to the system. Make it so that if you leave, the building shakes. In relationships, this is more subtle. It is not about financial dependence. It is about emotional and psychological necessity. Be the only one who truly understands their darkest ambition. Be the only one who can calm their specific anxiety. Be the source of clarity they cannot find in the chaos of the world. When you become the source of their stability, they cannot afford to lose you. Love is volatile. It changes with the wind. But need is primal. Need is permanent. Stop trying to convince people that you are a good person. Good people are disposable. Convince them through your actions, your competence, and your unique understanding that you are the oxygen in the room. This is the difference between being an accessory and being a necessity. Accessories are swapped. Necessities are guarded. The third law is where most honest people destroy themselves. You have been taught that honesty is the best policy. You have been taught to communicate, to share your goals, to announce your plans to the world. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to leave him. And what happens? The business fails. The weight stays on. The relationship drags on. Why? Because you gave away your power. A declared intention is a weapon you have handed to your enemy. When you reveal your plans, you do three things that weaken you. First, you trigger the premature dopamine reward. When you announce a goal and people say good for you, your brain releases dopamine as if you had already achieved it. You lose the hunger. Second, you invite sabotage. The moment you articulate your ambition, you hold a mirror up to the mediocrity of those around you. They will plant doubt. Are you sure that's a good time? That sounds risky. Third, you become predictable. And predictability is death. If people know what you want, they know how to manipulate you. If they know you are desperate for a promotion, they can dangle it over your head to make you work for free. If they know you are terrified of a breakup, they can treat you poorly knowing you won't leave. You must become a closed book. Machiavelli advised that a ruler must never let his court know whose side he is on until the victor is decided. Adopt the fog of war in your daily life. When you are angry, wear a mask of calm. When you are desperate, wear a mask of abundance. When you are about to make a major move, smile and talk about the weather. Let your actions be the only announcement you ever make. There is a terrifying power in the person who does not speak. When you are in a meeting and you do not reveal your position, people project their own fears onto you. They try to impress you. They try to guess what you are thinking. The fourth law controls every relationship you have ever been in. The person who cares the least controls the relationship. This is the principle of least interest. Think of a negotiation. One person is desperate to sell the car because they need cash. The other person likes the car but is perfectly happy walking away. Who determines the price? The one who can walk away. Always. In your life, you are likely suffering because you are the one with the heavy hand. You are the one investing more emotion, more worry, more analysis into the bond. You are constantly checking the temperature of the relationship. Are we okay? Did I do something wrong? Why is he acting distant? This anxiety is a stench. It smells like weakness, and subconsciously it repulses people. When you overinvest, you upset the balance of power. You place the other person on a pedestal, and from that height they can only look down on you. You give them the power to destroy you, and then you wonder why they treat you with carelessness. It is because you have made yourself cheap. You have signaled that you will stay no matter what. To regain control, you must master emotional asymmetry. This does not mean you stop loving. It means you cultivate the ability to detach. You must find a center of gravity inside yourself that does not depend on anyone else. When they pull back, you do not chase. You stand still. When they get hot and angry, you remain cool and observant. If they step off their side of the scale, you stay on yours. You let the scale tip. You let them feel the consequence of their distance. When you stop chasing, you flip the dynamic. Suddenly they are the ones facing the void. Suddenly they are the ones wondering why you aren't calling. The anxiety shifts from you to them. And here is the dark paradox. People are drawn to those who do not need them. We want the approval of the person who is hard to impress. If you make someone the center of your universe, they will eventually leave to find a new universe. But if you are your own universe, complete, spinning, self-sustaining, they will orbit you. The fifth law separates the leaders from the cowards. Machiavelli famously wrote that injuries ought to be done all at one time so that being tasted less, they offend less. Benefits ought to be given little by little so that the flavor of them may last longer. Most people do the exact opposite. When you have to deliver bad news, end a relationship, fire an employee, or cut off a toxic family member, what do? You hesitate. You soften the blow. You drag it out. You break up with them but agree to stay friends. You fire the employee but give them a month of false hope. You tell the toxic friend you're just busy instead of telling them they are poisoning your life. You think you are being gentle. You are not. You are being a torturer. By dragging out the conflict, you are cutting off the dog's tail 1 inch at a time. You are keeping the wound open, allowing it to infect, ensuring that the pain lasts for years instead of days. The Machiavellian mindset requires you to think like a surgeon. If a limb is gangrenous, you do not massage it. You do not cut it slowly. You amputate. You do it with one clean, brutal strike. It is shocking. It is agonizing. But it is final. And because it is final, the healing can begin immediately. In your life, identify the rot. Is it a relationship that is dead but still walking? Is it a habit that is killing your ambition? Is it a person who disrespects you repeatedly? Do not negotiate with rot. Strike once, strike hard, and never look back. People respect a clean executioner. They despise a clumsy one. The sixth law addresses a modest lie you were raised with. Don't judge a book by its cover. The reality. The cover is the only thing most people ever see. We live in a visual culture. We are creatures of the surface. We judge competence by confidence. We judge wealth by attire. We judge authority by posture. If you are hiding your light under a bushel because you believe that virtue is its own reward, you will die in the dark. The world does not reward the best men. It rewards the most visible men. Machiavelli knew that a prince must be a showman. He must stage manage his reputation. He must understand that power is a performance art. You must control the optical illusion of your life. This does not mean you lie. It means you cure it. It means you understand that your appearance, your tone of voice, and the setting in which you are seen are not superficial details. They are the language of the unconscious mind. You must learn to create a spectacle. If everyone is shouting, your spectacle is silence. If everyone is dressed casually, your spectacle is a suit. If everyone is panicking, your spectacle is absolute, terrifying calm. You must become conscious of your brand. Every time you step out of your door, you are stepping onto a stage. How you walk matters. Lift your chin. Slow down your movements. Powerful people do not rush. The final law is the one that binds them all together. It is the mastery of time. The amateur is always in a hurry. They are frantic, reacting to emails, reacting to insults, reacting to the clock. Hurry creates a lack of dignity. Hurry betrays a lack of control. The law of timing dictates that patience is a weapon, not a virtue. Most of your mistakes in life came from impatience. You sent the angry text too soon. You took the first job offer because you were scared. You slept with them too quickly because you wanted validation. You quit the project just before the breakthrough. To become Machiavellian is to step outside of the frantic ticking of the clock. You must learn to sit in the tension. When someone insults you, the instinct is to snap back immediately. The time master waits. He looks at the person. He lets the silence stretch until it becomes uncomfortable. He smiles. And then maybe he speaks. Or maybe he doesn't. By waiting, he signals that he is not a slave to the other person's provocation. In negotiation, the one who is willing to wait the longest wins. You have now seen the 7 laws. Scarcity creates value. Dependence creates safety. Concealment protects power. Asymmetry controls relationships. Cruelty requires precision. Spectacle shapes perception. Timing determines victory. These laws are not nice. They contradict everything society tells you about being a good citizen. But ask yourself, who taught you those rules? Was it the people who wanted you to be powerful? Or was it the people who wanted you to be compliant? Society needs workers. It needs people who are predictable, honest, patient, and blindly loyal. It trains you to be a sheep because sheep are easy to shear and easy to eat. The world is divided into those who play the game and those who are pieces in someone else's game. There is no third option. You cannot opt out. Power dynamics control your life whether you acknowledge them or not. The only choice you have is whether you want to be the hammer or the anvil. Knowing the laws is not enough. Information without execution is just mental masturbation. The real test is not in the understanding. It is in the application. It is in that split second when your phone buzzes and you want to pick it up, but you don't. It is in that moment you want to scream at your ex, but you stay silent. It is in that moment you want to brag about your new project, but you keep your mouth shut. That is where the war is won. In the silence. In the restraint. In the dark. Most people will watch this and change nothing. They will return to the comfort of their cage because the cage is safe. Are you most people? Or are you ready to see how deep the rabbit hole actually goes?